Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another Tea and Tarot Time with Julie. So grab yourself a cup of tea, cup of coffee, whatever it is you want. Put your feet up, get yourself comfy. This is your mid-January for the rest of the month bonus tarot reading for my earth signs. That is Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn. And a very happy birthday to my Capricorns. All right, my beautiful people, let's have a look what is going on. I'm going to start with the wisdom of the oracle. Then we're going to add in some tarot. So for my earth signs, please, what can we share? What can we help them with? Last week I did a load of videos that were just random sort of general messages for everybody, but this week I want to focus on the elementals. So earth today, and then tomorrow I'll do fire and water and then air. So they'll all be up by the end of the week. So let's have a little look for my earth signs, please. What can we share? Thank you so much. Okay, we've got the Orphan card. Are you feeling a bit low, my beautiful people? Why? And happy. Okay. Well, I'm happy to see the happy card coming out, especially with that orphaned. Now, I'm picking up something here with this card for you. This isn't necessarily about losing parents. This could be losing a friend. This could be losing a job. This could be anything that is related to being victimized, being somebody giving you a hard time, somebody picking on you, anything like that. Okay. And we've got the why card. So we need to look at the why. Why is this happening? What part of my vibration is attracting this to me? Because obviously I wouldn't do this deliberately. But is there something in what's going on? So we're going to find out some more. Let's go to the tarot and let's find out some more. But the outcome, we've got happy guys. So panicky not. All right, we're going to fix this. We're going to sort it. Let's find out. This is the Tarot of Dreams. All right. So we've got the Chariot. You see, we're moving on from whatever that difficult situation is, but we've got the Devil in the middle. Right, we'll sort him out with the Death card. So that's ending, all right? That's ending. We're in a transition. We are moving forward. See, I'm loving this. The Eight of Wands is the minor arcana equivalent to the Chariot. So you've got a double message here with the Chariot and the Eight of Wands together about moving on from whatever this is. You've got the Seven of Wands, standing your ground and standing up against that devil energy. Yeah, see, I told you we'd sort him. Oh, no, Mr. Devil, you've got no power over me. And we got the Seven of Swords. All right, let's have a look. Anything else we want to add? Not at the moment, they're saying. Okay, right. Let's have a chat. In the middle of the reading, you've got the Devil energy. Now, the middle card, the central card, is important because it influences everything else around it. So let's have a look, because obviously the Devil card is not a particularly good card. The Devil card is about our fears, our insecurities, our self-doubts, our wibbles and wobbles, our addictions, habits, behaviours, patterns that hold us back, limit us. It's all about feeling disempowered. It's all about feeling that you've got no choice. There he is in the centre of this cage. That's the Fool, okay? With his little fool hat on. Now he's in the cage and he's naked, which represents his vulnerability, him feeling vulnerable and lost. But you see, the cage is open. But he's so busy looking down and protecting himself in that very hugging himself, making himself as small as possible, feeling threatened. He's so busy in that he's not noticing the cage door is open. Giving the Devil, there he is, right? Ha, 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 look at him. I've got all the power. Holding the chains here. This is all about you believing, you seeing that I'm stuck, I'm trapped, there's nothing I can do, I'm helpless, I'm powerless, I'm a victim. Right, now we all get in that space every now and again. It's not a nice place to be, is it? No, not at all. Right, what are we going to do about it? We're going to sort it out. We are moving forward. So whatever this is about, this could be about your boss, somebody at work picking on you. This could be about one of your family members giving you a hard time and you feeling disempowered and, you know, I can't, and, you know, I want to sell my house and I can't because I've got my adult kids living with me and they need that home. You know, it's where you feel helpless. This could be where a friend of mine, and for those of you who watch Willow Grace Astrology, you know Patty is a personal friend of mine as well as a work colleague. We collaborate together. Her channel's just been hacked and she is locked out at the moment. She can't get in, she can't tell you anything. So they are working on it and the YouTube team is helping her, all right? But it could be a week or two before this is resolved and she can't get in. So she's in that victim space at the moment and I've been trying to support her through that, all right? Why has this happened? What's it doing? How is it helping? All right. Anything that's this sort of situation that's within that orphaned, like I'm alone, I'm on my own here, nobody can help me, I'm powerless. We've got to get out of that mind space, okay? And like I said to her yesterday, you are powerless right now. You are helpless right now. There's nothing more you can do than you've already done. You've just got to let Google and YouTube do their thing to rescue you. All right. And this is a helpless situation and it feels uncomfortable. So whatever this is for you, all right, that's one example of, you know, she said, I feel, you know, awful. I said, well, you are being victimized. You are a victim right now. You've been hacked. Your identity, your channel, everything is being hacked. It's horrible. You're allowed to be in that space. Just feel it. Be angry. Be upset. Let it out. Let it go. And then we can look at the why. All right. We can't look at the why when we're in it. All right. It's too painful. You know, we don't want to look at why because yeah, it's too hard. You know, it's like, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for somebody to crash into my car or for somebody to ... whatever it is for you. But there's an energy within us that if there is a belief that I'm at risk, if there's a belief that I'm a victim, it actually draws it to us, although we don't want it to. Of course, we don't want it to. So we can look at the why after we've moved on. We've got to move on from it first. We'll look at the why after, all right? So if you're in this situation where you are feeling, if this is a loss, for those of you that are going through a loss, you may have lost a family member, somebody very close, you know, we've got to just work through that grief first. We've got to feel it. We've got to express it. We've got to allow ourselves time and we can move on. All right. We've got the double message here with the Chariot and the Eight of Wands of moving on. Now, the Eight of Wands is also good news. All right. So that email coming through saying, okay, here's the new job or here's the new home or you've got your channel back where you've been hacked or whatever it is, the news will come through in the next 2 weeks. Okay. You're getting that news and then you can move on. So just trust, and I know it's not easy when we're in this situation, you know, to lock it down, to look at where we're vulnerable, to look at how we can shore up those holes, all right? What can we do to protect ourselves? You go into that space and you move on. But that devil is very prevalent at the moment. We're in Capricorn season and this is the kind of Capricorn energy. This helps us actually look at when where we're vulnerable, when we're vulnerable, how we're vulnerable, and then we can shore it up. We can strengthen. We can put protection in place. We can defend ourselves. We can hold our ground. We can stand up for ourselves. So the Seven of Wands is there with that Devil card. This is saying, right, I'm in this situation where I feel vulnerable. I'm looking at why. The why card here, she's reaching down. She's got wings here. This is a spiritual being reaching down for that book of knowledge, which is also very spiritual. It's a number 31. That's a 4, all about our foundations. Looking at that foundation and saying, right, why is this an issue? Where could it be an issue? How could it be an issue? And how can I shore it up? Where are the blocks? Where are the weak areas? So it's doing that due diligence. It's doing that risk assessing without going into this space of I'm a victim. And it's very easy to fall into it. Okay. It is hard. This is heavy energy, but we're clearing this out. So I want you to look at your world and your life. Look at your vulnerabilities within your finances, within your emails, your identity, in any area, look at where the vulnerabilities are and saying, right, I'm going to shore these up. I'm going to fill in these holes. I'm going to look at the why when it feels right to look at the why. Why has this happened? Remembering it's very easy to say, why is this happening to me? And that puts us in victim energy. Instead, we're going to look at, why is this happening for me? Because better to know now than it to be worse further down the line. Let's figure it out now. For some of you, you might be in a relationship that's becoming more and more toxic. Why is this happening now? This is horrible. I thought this was a lovely person and they're really starting to be controlling, and I can see this isn't going to work for me. This is awful. Right, that's a difficult situation. Been there. But ask yourself, would I prefer to know now, or would I prefer to know 5 years down the line? And mostly we'll say, I'd rather know now. All right. So it's like, right, I can fix this. I can sort it. And you will, because we're moving into the happy here. Okay. And the death, the endings, the transition. Because when you've been through this kind of situation, you generally won't go through it again, because you've learned the lessons, and you have, as we said, found where the holes are, found where the vulnerabilities are, strengthened them, shored it up, protected yourself, and you're coming up with this plan, this strategy. The Seven of Swords, people tend to look at it and say, oh, that's all about deceit and deception. And it absolutely could be. All right, for my lovely friend Patty, that's, somebody has stolen her her YouTube channel right now, her identity, her all sorts of things that are linked with it, right? It is theft, and it's nasty, and it shouldn't happen. So we look at, right, how can we make sure this doesn't happen again? What can we do to protect ourselves? All right. So for some of you, in some situations, this is about deceit. We have been let down and we've been hurt, but we've come out of it stronger and safer as a result. Okay. Now, this card also, the Seven of Swords, talks about a plan, a strategy. How do I make sure this doesn't happen again? What am I doing to protect myself? All right, they're just giving me another example. Slightly less serious, but well, I don't know, it depends on your circumstances, but let's say that, especially because we're January, this is the time when we're generally trying to give up something. All right, I don't like that terminology. As an ex-hypnotherapist, I can tell you that sort of thinking does not help you or serve you in any way. Instead of giving up, change that to, what am I gaining? All right, what am I gaining? If I'm stopping the drinking, I'm doing dry January. If I'm quitting the smoking, and let's say I've fallen off the wagon, that temptation, that addiction has come back and smacked me right in the chops, and it's thrown me, right? Why did that happen? What was underneath? Have I actually looked at why I fell off the wagon and went back to the drinking or the smoking? Or, I started the gym, I went every day, and then 2 weeks in and I've already quit. Why? Right? Did I go too hard? Did I go too fast? Did I keep stuff in the house thinking I'll be able to, not be tempted, and then found I was tempted? What am I learning from this? How can I get back on it, back on the thing I want to do, and get myself safe and get myself into a happy place, so that when I start again and I get out of this devil's cage, back out of that restriction, that I get back into my power, because here he is in his power. And he's saying to the devil, stuff you, pal. I'm off. I'm not having this. I'm not putting up with this. I'm transitioning now into my new world and life, which is much happier. That egg that she's sitting on represents all the good stuff wanted to crack open. Best that we found out now. We can shift it, we can change it, we can fix it. So let's get out of that space where we're feeling a victim, but express it first. All right, allow yourself some time to heal. The good news will come. You're moving forward, and then you're going to make sure this doesn't happen again. So they want me to clarify. What are we clarifying, please? All right, so I'm going to use a different deck. This is a very slippy deck. I always struggle with these cards. The Neon Tarot, this is. All the cards I use are linked below. All right, what are we clarifying here? Let's have a look at this Chariot. How are we moving forward, please? Give me advice and guidance of moving forward. King of Swords. All right, so this is the advice. How do we move forward? The King of Swords is using your intellect, your intelligence, your expertise, but also being prepared to reach out to an expert to help you. All right, somebody who knows more than you. No matter how much you know, there's always somebody that knows more than us. And it's finding that person. This could be a lawyer. Like for Patty, it's the YouTube experts recovering her account. You know, it's out of her control. She's having to trust an expert who knows more. So I want you to allow yourself to reach out into your own intellect, into your own intelligence, but also look around you as to who can help you with this situation. Okay, if this was to do with trying to overcome an addiction and you tried it on your own and it didn't work, maybe this is the time to reach out to a therapist or a support group or your doctor for help. Who is the expert that can help you with what it is that you were moving forward? Because this is victory. This is forward movement and victory and success. So if you haven't managed to do it on your own, what help and support is there from other people? All right, because the King of Swords is that expert. Let's grab hold of it and say thank you very much. Okay, let's have a look at this Devil then. What are we moving past and overcoming? We're going towards the Sun. The Sun is here. You see, the Devil is all about your fears. The Sun comes in, shining a light on everything, exposing everything. And it can look pretty ugly when it's exposed, but then we can sort it because we can see clearly. So the Sun is coming out. This is going to be okay. Whatever the situation is for you, exposing it, shine the light on it, bring it out into the surface. At least we know now and we can tackle it. And we are moving towards that transition, that death. It's not going to happen again. You figured this out once. Tell me more about this Death card. King of Wands. Look, we've got two kings here. In your power. All right, so this is disempowerment. The Devil and the Orphan card is disempowerment. Here you are stepping into your King of Wands energy, assertive, dynamic, passionate, in your power fully. No more the fool in the cage. No. We're in the King of Wands energy where I can basically do anything because I am so powerful. The only thing more powerful than this is the Emperor, all right, or the Magician because you're in your magic. So tell me a little bit more about this, please, for my earth signs. We've got the Seven of Cups, options, choices, look at everything, open things up. If you've put all your eggs in one basket and then that basket got burned, you're stuffed. Right, so, okay, we work through the fire, we come out the other side and we say, right, we're going to make new eggs and we're going to make several different baskets and we're going to spread our stuff across multiple different things. It reduces the risks. It helps us, right? Let's say you're trying to sell your house and you're with one estate agent, one realtor on an exclusive deal, and it's not working, all right? And you're stuck and you're feeling helpless and you're feeling disempowered. Bring that contract to a close if you possibly can, all right? Depending on what contract you've signed. Usually it will have 30 days, 60 days, 90 days closure. Bring that to a close and then find a deal with multiple agents where you don't have exclusivity. You know, things like that, right? What can we do differently that we're opening up options and choices, spreading ourselves out to protect ourselves? Because that Five of Wands is there about competition, about battles, about arguments. How can we reduce that? How can we eliminate that? What is the strategy? What is the plan? Bottom of the deck, we've got the Ace of Wands with the Eight of Cups and then the Ace of Swords. Beautiful. So two aces, a new beginning. We've figured something out here. We've learned something from this. Now we can walk away from what had happened with the learning, with the knowledge. We figured things out and we're now stepping into a brand new beginning. The Ace of Wands, this can be a new job, new career, new passion, new excitement. And the Ace of Swords, new ideas, a new clarity, aha moments, really understanding something here of what didn't work so that we can work out what does work and move towards it. But the sun is with you, shining a light on everything you need to see and everything you need to know, so that you are going forward into 2026 with a greater clarity and a greater wisdom, having learned some quite harsh lessons here, but that will stand you in good stead going forward. All right? Okay, let's get you some affirmations. We've got 2 wanting to come out. I am removing stress from my life. I am stress-free. Brilliant here. Okay, so we're saying, where is the stress? What is the potential for stress? What is the potential for risk? How can I mitigate that? How can I reduce that? How can I remove the stress from my life? So make this your mantra. I am removing stress from my life. I am stress-free. And I love all of myself unconditionally. Why is this important? Because we tend to blame ourselves. When something goes wrong, like what's happened to Patty, you know, why, oh, how did I allow this to happen? Right? Don't blame yourself. There are holes in, you know, in certain things that we do, and we don't see them until sometimes when it's a bit late and they've come back to bite us. Okay, but then we see them and then we can fix it. Don't blame yourself, all right? I want you to love yourself unconditionally. I'm doing the best I can and I'm learning. I'm a work in progress. I am growing. I am expanding. I am wiser now today than I was yesterday, and I'll be even wiser tomorrow. Okay? And from the angels, please. I am beautiful, and you are. You are really beautiful. So whatever is going on for you, I want you to find and see the beauty in yourself, the beauty in life, the beauty in the world. There are some ugly things in the world, and the devil is pretty ugly. We would tend to agree. Not the prettiest character in the world, is he? So let's come away from what is ugly. We can see it, we clock it, and then say, I choose beauty. The beauty in myself, the beauty in my life, the beauty in my view. I see what is beautiful. And that includes seeing things that were painful, that I have learned to overcome or protect myself from. And that in itself is beautiful too. All right? Okie dokie, that's what I have for you then, my beautiful earth signs. I hope this was helpful. Quite a kind of intense message, but please trust me, you're working through this out the other side, and it is all helping you in some way, shape or form. All right, I'll be back tomorrow with one of the other elementals, probably air, but I'm not sure yet, but they'll all be out by Friday, and I'll see you soon. You take care, lots of love. Bye bye.